Benvinguts a la meva presentació de Croàcia i del Balcón. Gràcies per estar aquí. So that's all I can say in Catalan. Good morning and welcome to the presentation about the business opportunities in Croatia and Balkan region. So first of all, I would like to thank you, ACCIÓ, for inviting us here today and to share our experience and knowledge about the business environment, climate in Croatia and the Balkan region. And so hope they will be useful for you to learn and to see what are the business opportunities for Catalan companies. But for the very beginning, maybe some words about CBBS. As far as I understood, Anna told some things. So CBBS has been founded in 2007. It's consulting and lobbying company. So in a way, when my friends asking me what I'm doing, so I'm connecting people. So it's basically our main activity. So we are active in internationalization, mergers, acquisitions, strategic partnerships, joint venture projects. We are doing similar job like Mr. Kobeschak. So we are supporting foreign investors entering Croatian and regional market. But also we do different kind of lobbying in Croatia and in Brussels. I'm accredited lobbyist at European Parliament, and definitely so we can open the doors to foreign investors, foreign companies entering the region. So some of the memberships of CBBS, so we are member of Croatian Society of Lobbyists, Lobbyist Association in Brussels, accredited lobbyist at European Parliament. Like Anna said, so I'm very close to the trade fair industry, exhibition industry. I used to be the 17 years board member at FIRA in Zagreb. And I'm still working closely with the exhibition industry and member of UFI, the Global Association in Paris. And we are also active in Croatian business association like HUP, which is Croatian Employers Association. It's a voluntary association, but also we are all the members of Croatian Chamber of Economy, which is obligatory business association, the biggest one in Croatia, and embracing all Croatian companies. Just some basic words. So we used to work with, let's say, partners from 20 countries, from China to Brazil. Mostly we are working with companies from Europe willing to do some business in Croatia. And there are some basic facts about me and CBBS. Thank you. Coming back to our topic today. So when ACCIÓ invited me, so we discussed opportunity to present you the opportunities, business opportunities in Croatia, like EU member, and also in other countries in the region. My focus in this presentation will be more on the countries of ex-Yugoslavia and Albania, which are closer to us, and which in a way are very linked to Croatia, since we used to be the part of the same country 25 years ago, and right now there is a trade, business going on, cooperation on different levels. So here you can see, maybe just I can use it. So we have here the country, so basically here is the Croatia, what you saw on the Anna's picture. So here is Slovenia, Serbia, Montenegro and Albania, Kosovo and Macedonia. So it's very interesting, so that it's difficult to say that we are part of one region, especially Croatia is part of 3 regions. So we are part of Balkan, Adriatic and Danube region, which give us opportunity to cooperate with the countries in whole region. So just speaking about Danube region, so there is a Danube transnational program, which is also open, it's European program, open to Croatia and all the countries in Danube region. There is the market of something like 100 million people. There are countries from Germany, Austria, Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, including all this region. And so it's one of the funding which could be also interesting for Catalan companies for the future tenders and activities. Normally we are part of Adriatic region. Croatia has very long Adriatic coast. It's like Anna mentioned, we are touristic destination, very attractive destination, also very attractive destination, what you will learn from the presentation of Mr. Kobiščak, that it's very attractive for the investments in hotel and tourism industry, which I think it's also good for your industry, which is working in equipment area, so equipping hotels and restaurants, etc. So I think that this year estimation is that there will be something like 500 to 600 million euros investment in tourism in hotels. Especially Croatia would like to increase the quality of the hotels, so to have more hotels of 4 and 5 star. So there is a lot of private accommodation, apartments, even camps, but so the hotels are still missing in the offer of Croatian tourism. And this is something which is, I think, developing very fast with national touristic chains, but also with international ones. Like Anna explained, so there are 2 countries EU members, so Croatia, Slovenia. Normally here are Romania, Bulgaria, and Greece. Speaking about the region and doing business in the region, I can say that so working in this region, it's easy and would be recommended at the end of my presentation to start from Croatia. Definitely to tackle and to be involved in Romania, Bulgaria, and Greece. I would suggest to base the company or start the business directly in these markets, because these are big national markets, and I would say it would be very difficult to cover these markets from other countries. Even would be almost impossible to cover, let's say, Romania from Bulgaria or vice versa. So it's the national markets and would be recommended to be the part of it. So we can, it's in my hand, sorry. So some basic information about Croatia. You learned something from Anna. There will be more in presentation of Dario. So these are the latest facts from one of the presentation of Chamber of Economy. So GDP in 2015 almost 44 billion euros. GDP per capita 10,390 euros. Average net salary is 750 euros. There is almost no inflation rate, as you can see. Unemployment rate is still rather high. So Croatia and the whole region was very severely hit by the crisis, starting, let's say, in 2009. But since, I would say, last year, especially from the second half, we can see so the positive trends, and so the business and investments are going on again. Population, so it's a small but powerful. So according to the rank of doing business from 2016, Croatia is ranked 40, which is the second in the region after Macedonia and Slovenia. Macedonia is number 12, and which is very good, excellent result for Macedonia. And so Slovenia is 29, quite close to Croatia. The VAT is 25%, but there are some reduced VAT rates in Croatia, 5 and 13% for some different products. I put in my presentation some useful links. So this is the links of the agency of Mr. Kobiščak, AIC, Agency for Investment and Competitiveness, which is the key place for the foreign companies willing to invest, to do business. Normally, I can recommend very highly, so Ministry of Foreign and European Affairs. So they did a very good job in last couple of years, and they established one, I would say it's a portal, so you can use it as well. So the portal has a lot of information about Croatia, making business in Croatia, export opportunities, and I can also recommend that so your companies can contact the people or in the ministry or in the embassy here in Spain. So definitely they are very helpful, and I would say for the state, the governmental administration, so very efficient. Normally the Croatian Chamber of Economy is the best source. They have the database of all the companies association inside the chamber, so you can check for the companies coming from different sectors, the sectors which are closer to you, the sectors you would like maybe to interfere. There are a lot of information about the delegations, meetings, some studies, research, and so on. So very useful platform to search, especially maybe when you plan to do something in Croatia or the region. And Croatian Exporters, this is association of companies exporting goods out of Croatia. So it's, I would say, one interesting platform as well. Here are the results of foreign trade exchange, commodity exchange in 2015. These are the latest data. So as you can see, the traditional partners of Croatia for many years, and the most of the countries in this region used to be and still are, so Germany, Italy, Austria. So today Slovenia is also export-import partner because they are so independent country as well as Croatia. But definitely, so the most of our export and import goes to these three countries. And these three countries, you will see later on, were the countries which invested already a lot, especially in the 90s, because they knew the market, they had established business relations with Croatia, and in a certain way they have a lot of trust in Croatia and the Croatian business community to work together. So more and more, I would say, the efforts to enter the new market, but so still these markets are the key markets, and still what Croatia would like to change, so to increase the export. Right now it's almost, so the importation is almost doubled, which means, and it's showing that Croatia it still is very open to let's say, to importation of the goods and to making business, making trade with the companies all over the world. Here are some, I would say, basic facts. So why Croatia is one reliable business partner. So definitely very good, unique position in Europe. Stability, safety of business activity. I would say one stimulating investment climate, so different opportunities in different sectors. I would say that maybe most attractive sectors today are tourism, renewable energy, food agriculture, food processing, but also, let's say, the industries like pharmaceuticals, ICT. Normally there was a lot of real estate development, especially, let's say, from 2000 to 2008-09, when the crisis came. All big international chains, or majority of these international retail chains, are in Croatia. So recently there was a big investment of IKEA from Sweden, so they opened a big store in Croatia 2 years ago or something like that. So definitely it is showing that we are part of a single market, international market, and that so the companies can find reliable partners to talk about any kind of business. Like Ana said, right now, so Croatia used IPA funding from 2007 and to 2013 as a candidate country. We also used to work with FAR program before that. Most of these budgets were used for the development of the business infrastructure, supporting organizations, local government, regional development agencies. But as you know, right now, in this framework 2014 to 2020, through structural and investment funds, there will be 8.4 billion euros available to Croatian companies and normally international companies participating in different tenders. So there is a lot of opportunities for investment in the infrastructure, transportation, new, I would say, greenfield investments in machinery, training, education. So I think that there are a lot of opportunities, and definitely the companies entering the market can become part and can use that with Croatian partners, but also you can participate in different tenders which will be opened in Croatia in next couple of years. So I searched a little bit and so checked what I know about some interesting success stories. So I realized that Rimac Automobili is one of the startup companies, innovative companies working on production and development of electric cars. So actually the car they developed was a prototype Volare. So actually they developed that for your company A plus Idiada. So it was done some years ago and it was promoted here in Catalonia circuit during the Formula 1 test days. And so today they are producing electric cars and so they are, I think, partly owned by international funds and persons and are one of the most innovative Croatian companies. I took this example just to show that besides the traditional industries, tourism and the others, we have very young, talented, innovative people who are able to be competitive on the global market. So this project, not this one, this was actually financed with EU money and that was ordered from your company. But definitely they were star of one of the stars of Geneva Auto Show this year in March. And definitely so they have very hot product and good innovative approach to the new topics. So this is something what we already developed, and I think that so we are all happy. So I think that so our players like Ivan Rakitic and Ante Tomic are so one big part of your teams winning the big titles, big awards, and big tournaments. So I hope that so we will have some next success stories. So in the business or in other areas, and I hope that this seminar will be some sort of help in this. Something which is, I would say, also one promising or let's say good information that Croatia and Slovenia, like countries, the same is with Bulgaria and Romania especially, so that these countries in single market will have so increase of the growth in 2016. I think that the figures for 2017 are even bigger. So that means that this region will be, let's say, developing good, and that estimation of the growth in the region is also very high. Slovenia, maybe shortly, Anna gave you one overall picture as well. So they are the member of European Union, population. So it's smaller, but so currency is euro. GDP is very high. So doing business in Slovenia is ranked very high as well. So the key sectors: automotive, chemicals, electrical, electronics, ICT, logistics. So definitely the trade between Slovenia and other EU member states is based on free movement of goods. So all the rules which are applying for Catalonia, so are also and the other member states are also legible and enforced for Slovenia. I would recommend this link and this agency. This is part of a big Spirit Slovenia. This is Invest Slovenia, so very useful information. Anything you like to know about it, about the market and contacts, I think it's good first step in Slovenian market. Other countries in Balkan region, in Balkan region I'm talking today: Albania, Bosnia and Herzegovina, former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia, Kosovo, Montenegro and Serbia. Mostly so Anna covered this in her presentation as well. What we can say, so that these countries really are moving rather quickly forward in fulfilling the obligations and the requirements of EU accession. Even the countries like Kosovo and Bosnia are doing the efforts to let's say become in the future also the candidates. So right now we have Albania, Macedonia, Montenegro and Serbia like the candidates. So this procedure will take some time, But what I think that what you maybe already know or understand, so for the moment, European Union has some sort of plan that these countries will be in a way integrated in EU matters through, let's say, members like Croatia. There is a lot of cross-border programs between EU and these countries, especially cross-border programs between Slovenia, between Croatia and the countries like Montenegro, Serbia, and Bosnia. This is one amount of money which is available for IPA countries. That was also explained in Anna's presentation. Before that, I think that part of these budgets will be also used for the infrastructure, which is maybe interesting for your companies for the future tenders and participation in such projects. Former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia, with rather small population, but doing a lot of efforts to attract foreign companies, foreign capital. It's really amazing so that they have ranked doing business in Macedonia number 12. What is maybe interesting, normally the key advantages are potential cost effectiveness, location, and very educated and young workforce. So 45% of the population is under age of 30. So the key industries, I would say in most of, let's say, Balkan countries, including Croatia, there are a lot of similar industries going on. So more or less they are very strong in these industries which are similar to the others. The key, also the information and the facts you can find here as Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They have also some sort of agency and program for the foreign investors. Serbia, the biggest one in the region. Actually, the whole region, I would say, ex-Yugoslavia plus Albania has something like 250,000-70,000 square kilometers and maybe 25 million inhabitants, which is one very nice market for itself. Serbia is also the candidate with similar, I would say, advantages. Very strong in the industries, including food, beverages, automotive, machinery, also ICT, textile, and clothing. What is different from, let's say, other countries? So they have the special agreement with the Russian Federation, Kazakhstan, Turkey, so that actually there is a free trade agreement. So especially for the companies willing to enter Belarus, Kazakhstan, or Russian Federation market, that could be one advantage doing business directly in Serbia. Here is also Serbian agency contact. Right now there are bigger investments in Serbia. One of the latest is Belgrade on the water. So it's a huge real estate development with housing and business development, business buildings which should be developed alongside the Danube river. And I think it's the Arab investors are from, I think, the Emirates, and the total amount is something like 3 billion euros or dollars. I don't know. It's almost the same. It's a huge amount, and it's a long-term project, but definitely they already started. They started selling apartments. It's obviously demand is there, and so we'll see how that will develop in the future. I attended some days ago at one forum on investment to Croatia, and someone was mentioning this project as well and said that, for example, I think that was someone from the Croatian authorities, and they said, so if in Croatia would be such a project with so many, I would say, public disputes and criticism, so we would never able to start it. So, but they started in Serbia the project, in spite that there are some protests because people, especially architects, don't like the idea, so they think that it will ruin the environment, etc. But definitely they started with the project. I think that for the beginning, for the first information, these two portals are very good information, so very detailed doing business reports about these countries. Also, I think today, which is advantage even for us, we are very happy. So being a EU member, so really you can find everything, all the statistics, all the data, latest reports on the Commission websites as well. So use it. I would say maybe some messages and so the reasons to invest or to make business in our region, in Croatia. So besides the countries which are the members, so the countries are entering this region. So that means that more or less all the regulation, laws, everything is follow EU regulation, especially in Croatia and Slovenia, but also in other countries. So I think that can give you one, let's say, a feeling of safety, security, at least. So the basic, I would say, standards are already on EU level or are aiming to reach this level as well. One macroeconomic stability in all these regions, so there was no big inflation, no big problems, especially right now when the crisis is over in this region as well. Strategic location, so this is advantage all the countries in the region like to say, so we have the best geostrategical location, which is true. Normally it depends on the investor. Maybe someone is, for some companies or some investors or companies, is better to do business in Macedonia, for some in Croatia. So I think it's always the interest of particular company or investor where they will pick the place and the partners to make the business. We are here to give you the outlines, to give you information, and hopefully you can decide for Croatia, but still. Taxes and the costs, so I would say that the cost of workforce are still rather low comparing with developed EU or Catalonia as well, so which can give some advantages. And so diverse economies, so there are really a lot of different sectors where you can enter and find very reliable and professional companies and partners. Well-educated population, and so the key growth drivers like foreign direct investment is increasing, trade integration within the region and the global economy is up, so rich energy resources, so definitely a lot of investments and projects is around renewable energy, not because of a regulation of EU for Slovenia and Croatia, but also really there is a lot of geothermal, hydropower, solar energy in all these countries, and a lot of investments of foreign companies starting order production or investing in different power plants. So for example, CBBS was working last year at the beginning of the year with a Turkish company called MB Holding. They launched and started the geothermal power plant of 5 megawatts close to Zagreb, because this northern part of Croatia is very rich in geothermal energy, and so they started this project last year. There are some other companies investing in biomass and solar from Hungary, biomass from Turkey, so it's a lot of interest in this field. So I would say improvement of transport infrastructure. So Croatia is excellent in highways. So in a couple of hours you can be in Vienna, in Budapest, in Belgrade. 6 hours drive to Milano. So it's really one very, very good location. Innovation. So we show that people in Croatia are young people, especially entrepreneurs, are innovative. So there are some, let's say, projects that these companies developed in agriculture, for example, like Agrivi and Farmeron, and they were really starting as startups, founding the partners, investors, business angels, and right now they are doing a great job. Some tips, so what I can, let's say, give you, so how to start or how to do the business in Croatia and Balkan region. So maybe first of all, explore business and investment opportunities. You can do it online and offline. Normally, after you search something or get some information, it will be highly recommended. So to come to meet potential partners. So there are different opportunities through the business exhibitions, matchmaking events, road shows. There is really a lot of delegations coming almost every week from different parts of the world to Croatia and the region. You will see later on who are the most active partners in this field. So what we recommend, so is definitely possible to do, in some industries it's possible to do the business online, being in Barcelona and doing business in this region, but definitely would be recommended to find a reliable local partner who knows the regulation, knows the people, know the way of doing business, and can be really your right hand in this project. So you can find, so it depends on the scale and the plans, so definitely you can start with the agent or distributor, or even you can start a joint venture project or acquire a local company. It depends on your plans and the strategy. For example, the top 10 M+A transactions in mergers and acquisitions in 2015 exceeded 1 billion euros. So the major investment acquisition was of British American Tobacco, who bought Croatian tobacco industry, Tvornica Duhana Rovinj, for, let's say, one amount of 550 million euros right now. So the company, so it's Adris Group who own this factory, so they will invest this money in tourism, in agriculture, and insurance. So this money will be, in a way, reinvested again, especially in Croatia, in Istrian region, and in Zagreb as well. So using business supporting public and private infrastructure, so normally the chambers, industry associations, so embassies, agencies like ACCIÓ, and also so the private companies like CBBS and the others. So I think that they can be very helpful in starting the business in Croatia. Like we mentioned, so there are a lot of traditional partners who already invested or developed the trade, but so I will just share with you maybe information about some other countries which are really present, I wouldn't say on daily basis, but very present in Croatia, especially I would say People's Republic of China. So maybe you heard about the initiative of People's Republic of China. This initiative is called 16+1. 16+1 means 16 Central and Southeast European countries plus China. So China is really planning to invest and to make a big infrastructural projects in this whole area, so actually in Eastern and Central European part. And so they are coming with different proposals. 2 weeks ago I met China Development Bank. They have office for the Balkan region in Belgrade, and so when they speak about the investments, they speak about so the billion of something, and definitely so they are here. In Croatia they didn't do a lot until now, but for example, just recently Chinese president signed the agreement with Czech Republic president for the investments of 3.9 billion euros in 2016. So they are very active, for example, in Hungary. They bought the Thessaloniki port. So I think that they are here. So I think that they invested also in all countries across Europe. But I think especially this region, which is end of Silk Road, is something they like to invest more. So then the second biggest partner, international partner out of EU, is definitely Turkey. Recently was a big summit meeting of Turkish and Croatian companies. So Turkish President Erdogan visited Croatia with his delegation. There was altogether 500 people in Hotel Westin. Matchmaking, a lot of interest, and the goal of Turkey is to increase the level of foreign exchange between Croatia and Turkey 3 times in next 5 years. Today this is something like 330 million euros, and the plan, actually this is the plan of President Erdogan, which I think it's very obligatory for Turkish companies, is 1 billion euros. So it's, and they invested also in, like I mentioned, in renewable energy and in tourism. So one of the very strong or strongest Turkish companies, Dush Group. So they invested in one hotel development in the city of Šibenik. They took over some marinas at the seaside as well. And right now they are building, I think, 1 or 2 hotels, 5 stars, also at the coastline. So Russians are present here as well. Azerbaijan, Poland, so Emirates, not only in Croatia but also in the region. Maybe the final message or recommendation, so to use the Croatia as a hub, so to establish, start business, find the partners from Croatia. Most of Croatian companies are doing business in the whole region, so they know the people. Some of them already have subsidiaries or their own companies. So my recommendation would be maybe to start with company, partner, whatever, from Croatia, who can be really helpful to cover the rest of the region. The language is the same, so people have developed since many years business and the private relations, which can always be very helpful in doing business. What is maybe one interesting or rather important information, so that all the banks or most of the Croatian banks are in hands of the international banks. So mostly are Italian, Austrian, Societe Generale from France, German banks, even Russian banks, for the time being no Spanish banks. EBRD and European EIB, they opened recently, so the office in Zagreb. EBRD has the office, I think, many years in Croatia as well. So this is invitation. So before doing business, so come to Croatia, recognize the opportunities, see a bit of Croatia. Hope that will be able to do soon for business or pleasure, or for one mix, which is always the best. So Croatia is definitely home of many successful and prominent people. So like Nikola Tesla, Dražen Petrović, Goran Ivanišević. So, sorry, I'm very close to sports, so what I can do. Gracias per vostra atención. Vostra.